Okay, it's time to start the second section of the class. I'm calling this Unit 2, and it's on symbolic logic. I'm going to call this first lesson Lesson 6.0. There's no 6.0 section in the book, but I wanted to introduce you to the concept of symbolic logic in a way that's slightly different from the book. That is, we could just start introducing these symbols and thinking of them as abbreviations for English sentences. But I think that a better way to get started with this is to think of what we're going to be working with as a formal language. A formal language is a language that's mathematically precise in a certain way. There's a precise way of telling for any set of symbols if it's supposed to count as a part of the language or not. Every formal language has two things: an alphabet, which is the set of symbols that are usable in the language. And the other thing is a set of rules that tell you for any given string of symbols from the alphabet whether they count as a sentence or no. Now let me give you an example of a formal language. And this won't be the one that we're working with. This will just be kind of a silly example. Every formal language has to have two things: an alphabet and a set of rules that tell you which combinations of symbols from the alphabet are supposed to count as sentences. So let's say we have a formal language and the alphabet is, we could just have our alphabet be two symbols, 0 and a 1. So that's our alphabet, just zeros and ones. And then we could have, for a set of rules, suppose we just have the rule that any string of symbols from the alphabet ending in 0 or 1 0, how about that, is a sentence. And second rule, nothing else is. Okay, so there I have two rules. And now this is a formal language. Notice I didn't say anything about why I'm calling that, what these things mean. What are these sentences? What do they talk about? The idea of a formal language is a purely syntax idea, so I don't have to attach any meaning to it just to have that concept. So let's look at some examples now and decide if you think that these are sentences. So if I have the string of symbols 0 0 1 0, is that a sentence of the language? The answer is yes. It's a string of symbols from the alphabet and it ends in 1 0. So that is a sentence of this formal language. Now suppose we have another string of symbols from the alphabet, 1 0 0 0 0 1 0 0 1. Is that a sentence of our formal language? Well, it's supposed to end in 1 0 in order to be a sentence. And it says that nothing else is. So this would not be a sentence because it doesn't end in 1 0. A third example, suppose we have 1 1 0 0 1 1 0, the letter U, 1 0. Would this be a sentence of our little formal language here? The answer is no. It has to be, the rules say it should be a string of symbols from the alphabet ending in 1 0. So from the alphabet. And this has U in it. This has a U in it. This symbol in here messes the whole thing up. So because there's a symbol in there that's not recognized, it's not part of the alphabet, that's not part of the language either. Okay, now this is just a little example of what a formal language looks like. And you see that it's a purely syntactic concept. I haven't said anything about what these supposedly sentences, what do they mean? What do they use to talk about? The idea of a formal language is purely syntactic.